Alright, time to highlight a little indie game demo I hope you'll give a shot. Well, in recent years we have seen an uptick in games clearly drawing on Armored Core's approach to mecha games. There haven't been too many home runs in that sector, and this isn't too surprising. Armored Core isn't the biggest franchise, Armored Core 6 is taking up a lot of the oxygen there, and Armored Core is just hard to replicate. Its mech building systems are some of the most meticulously crafted systems in any game out there. It's very hard to recreate. Most games trying to do Armored Core either try and fail to do this, or just don't bother, which... hey, maybe that's fine. I mean, the customization is the core appeal of Armored Core, but the key to making a good game that draws inspiration from another game but stands on its own is finding a way to make your game unique. To do something that the game you're drawing on didn't really try. And so maybe it's fine if in the process of doing that, there's some things you don't recreate. So what does Code Rapid do to distinguish itself from its inspiration? What's the selling point? Well, when I found the dev's YouTube channel some months back, what captured my attention, and what I recall they explicitly said was their main selling point, is how it's a much more acrobatic flavor of mech combat. And boy do they deliver, the game feel is immaculate. Dashing, jumping, and dodging feel fantastic. It's that fuzzy thing that's hard to put into words, where the game's illusion of physicality is strong enough to overcome the fact that, well, it's just images on a screen. And to force you to use these systems, the game de-emphasizes airtime and traditional Armored Core piloting. Your hover rather limits your horizontal movement, and your quick boosts drain your energy fast, forcing you to be on and off the ground, fighting more acrobatically. You're meant to move and jump and make heavy use of the perfect dodge mechanic. Really, it handles more like a particularly good action platformer than an Armored Core game, and that's pretty neat. And the level design makes good use of this. While the first level appears linear at a glance, on repeat playthroughs or just playing the second mission, you start to realize the freedom they give you. With a bit of platforming, you can skip chunks of the level by navigating the outsides of the structures, even finding your way to hidden areas. The game has secrets to search for, chests with new parts hidden in them to encourage you to explore, and the second mission actually leans even further into non-linearity, being an open area with 4 main objectives you can complete in any order, and even an optional side mission you can take on or just ignore. Or, like I did, entirely fail to find it on your first playthrough. And the visual design is great too. Maybe the areas are a bit abstract and gamey, but there's just enough for it to fascinate. Especially the first level, a city above the clouds with statues that tower over even your mech. I love a good mega structure in a game. But this has all left me really looking forward to seeing the full game and seeing what else they do with the level design. And while customization is not as much of the main focus, it is still kind of interesting. You have heads, torsos, arms, and legs for body parts. There's no internal parts. Then 4 weapons. 2 handheld, and then 2 core weapons, though these could be better differentiated. The handheld weapons, with few exceptions, come in matching left and right hand versions. They are identical, but the 2 core slots have totally separate options. In the off chance that you're watching this, developer, I might suggest differentiating them into back and shoulder slots. But the customization, while it does aim higher than a lot of Armored Core likes, it still isn't Armored Core. There's not quite enough going on with the part stats to really have that satisfying engineering feel of Armored Core, where you're trying to juggle so many different priorities and tune it all just right. It's the hardest thing about that series to replicate, and I think it just requires more going on with each of the parts than this game has. That said, this could be a symptom of the limited part selection in the demo, but even if the problem persists into the full game, I'm kind of okay with it because here too, the game's original ideas are the real appeal. There's 2 main things here that take up the slack, doing things you won't find in Armored Core. First, you have 2-handed and adaptive grip weapons, something I've wanted in Armored Core for a while now. Some weapons can only be used with 2 hands, requiring you to forego a left-hand weapon, but the left-hand weapon fire button acts as an alt fire. And then adaptive grip weapons can be used either way. Equip them with another weapon and they'll just have the primary fire, but equip them on their own and you get a secondary fire. So you get a choice, versatility or specialization. One weapon with added mechanical depth, or two weapons where part of the appeal is trying to juggle them properly. Plus, there just is an appeal to going for the single weapon configuration, the aesthetic of being a specialist. Especially nice since this sort of single weapon combat hasn't really been as encouraged by Armored Core since weapon selection for your offhand started getting more flexible in the 3rd generation. Genuinely, this might be my favorite thing in this whole game. I want every other Armored Core-like to do the same thing now. I know I'm all about variety and all that, but like, this is so good. And then the other thing the game does is having clearly defined weight classes that have significant impact on how the game plays, altering your boost and jump mechanics. Mechs that manage to slip into the lightweight category will receive a stylish slide dash and incredible jumps, while being a heavyweight is a little bit more quirky with a dash that gradually picks up speed and momentum. These are kind of simple, but it's nice to see weight classes emphasized further in a way that rewards all possibilities. So Code Rapid is different. It's not going to be for everyone. If you go in expecting Armored Core 6 but made on an indie budget, you're not going to get that. But, like, I'm not sure if you should even be looking for that. We already have Armored Core 6, and I think the game is at its best when it's doing something Armored Core hasn't done. This is a different game for people who want something a little different. If you're an Armored Core veteran, expect a little learning curve while you figure things out. You might just fall in love with it once you get used to it. Because I don't want there to be a single type of anime mech game where everyone tries to just be Armored Core. Heck, it's not like Armored Core itself is even a single type of anime mech game. It's at least 4 different styles of mech game, mostly unified by a few mechanics and the excellent and detailed customization. I want anime mech games as varied and unique as the series that inspired them. Honestly, I feel like mech game fans, and not just anime mech game fans, are weirdly closed-minded and specific with what they want, which feels like a shame when the media that inspired these video games is so varied and yet intertwined. There's a clear line of evolution from Mazinger to Mech Warrior if you care enough to see it. Code Rapid, though, has a lot of potential, and even just the content here, 2 levels plus a boss fight, is fun and replayable. I just hope it finds its audience. Check it out and let me know what you think, and if there are any interesting Armored Core inspired games you think I should give a look myself. But for now, this is Mikhail, signing off.